You know, we always think of the future as something that happens decades from now. But what if I told you it's unfolding right now, literally in a matter of days? We're about to take a look at a single extraordinary week in tech to see just how much can change. So that begs the question, right? How does the future actually arrive? Well, it's almost never one big dramatic event. It's more like a cascade of breakthroughs, all happening so fast they seem to tumble over each other. And each one just completely redefines what we thought was possible. I mean, just look at this past week. It was a perfect storm of innovation. In just a few days, we saw the birth of a seriously powerful new AI, a brazen multi-million-dollar cyber heist, a huge corporate power play, a fundamental breakthrough in new materials, and yeah, astronauts coming home from a trip around the moon. So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the two sides of AI, the good and the bad. Then we'll get into the real-world dangers of our digital age. After that, we'll zoom way in on the actual materials that'll build our future. And finally, we'll look to the stars for humanity's latest adventure. All right, first up, let's talk about the AI double-edged sword. This is all about the incredible tension at the very heart of AI development. It's this frantic race where the tools for creating amazing things and the tools for defending against bad things are being built at the exact same time, at a crazy speed. So, on one side of the sword, Meta just dropped something huge, Muse Spark. This is the first AI model from their new super intelligence labs, and their ambition is massive. They want to create a personal AI assistant for, well, for everyone. So what's the big deal with Muse Spark? Well, first off, it's natively multimodal, which is just a fancy way of saying it can see and hear the world just as easily as it can read your texts. It's also got this really unique contemplating mode, where it uses a whole team of specialized AIs to tackle tough problems. And this is letting it get incredible results in everything, from medical questions to really advanced science problems. Okay, but literally, at the same time all this power is being handed to us, the public, something completely different was happening behind the scenes. A whole coalition of the world's biggest tech companies, we're talking Google, Microsoft, Apple, you name it, they announced a defensive alliance called Project Glasswing. So their mission, get this, they're basically unleashing a super powerful unreleased AI from Anthropic, not on enemies, but on ourselves. Its only job is to hunt down and help fix critical security flaws in the open source code that pretty much runs the entire internet. It's about finding the cracks before the bad guys do. And this just perfectly shows you the two sides of the AI coin, right? On one hand, you've got Muse Spark, which is kind of like an offensive tool, pushing forward to empower us as individuals. And on the other, you have Project Glasswing, which is a purely defensive move, using AI to basically guard the walls of our digital world. And believe me, the stakes here could not be higher. As Jim Zemlin, the CEO of the Linux Foundation, put it, we're in this really dangerous moment where the attackers could get a huge advantage. Falling behind is just not an option. And that threat he's talking about, it's not some far-off theory. Which brings us right into our next section, digital dangers. Because while Project Glasswing is getting ready for tomorrow's threats, today's dangers are already here. And they are very, very expensive. Just look at this number, $3.6 million. That's how much was stolen in a single cyber heist that we just found out about this week. And this wasn't some kind of crazy Hollywood-style hack. It was a heist from Bitcoin Depot, the biggest crypto ATM operator in the US. And the way they did it was almost frighteningly simple. The hackers just got their hands on the company's internal login info. It was almost like a three-step playbook for disaster. First, they breached the company's internal IT systems. Got inside the castle walls. Once they were in, they found the digital keys, the credentials for the company's money accounts. The last step? It was the easiest. They just transferred over 50 Bitcoin and walked right out the digital front door. You see attacks like this, and it really makes you wonder, with the bad guys getting smarter and the attacks getting more common, how does our actual digital infrastructure, the servers, the storage, all of it, even stand a chance of keeping up? Well, part of the answer might actually lie in big corporate moves. Take this. Lenovo just bought Infinidat, a major company in high-end data storage. This is more than just a business deal. It's a huge strategic shift. Lenovo is moving away from just making laptops and towards building the kind of bomb-proof, AI-ready digital vaults that companies need to survive these days.
Okay, so we've talked software and we've talked strategy, but let's go a layer deeper.
I'm talking about the actual physical stuff our future is built from. This brings us to the future's raw materials. This is where a company called Stack 12 comes in. They're a deep tech startup, and they are working with one of the most incredible materials on the planet, diamond. Yeah, you heard that right, diamond. You see, for ages, scientists have looked at diamond as like the holy grail of semiconductor materials. Its properties are just off the charts. It can handle way more heat and power than silicon. The only problem has always been figuring out how to actually use it in manufacturing. And that is the puzzle Stack 12 has solved. They figured out a way to bond this super thin, perfect layer of diamond right onto normal materials, like silicon. This cracks a huge manufacturing problem and could unlock a whole new generation of electronics, the very hardware we're going to need to run those powerful AIs we were just talking about. All right, so from the tiniest microchip, let's zoom all the way out to the cosmos. For our final story, we're talking about humanity's return to Earth and the absolutely incredible end of the Artemis 2 mission. So picture this. After flying farther from Earth than anyone in history, the 4 Artemis 2 astronauts were coming home. Their return was just this breathtaking, perfectly timed ballet of engineering. It all started at 7:33 p.m. when the service module separated. 20 minutes later, their capsule slammed into the atmosphere at almost 35 times the speed of sound. That triggered a 6-minute radio blackout. Then, the parachutes came out, slowing them down, until finally, at 8:07 p.m., splashdown. And during that fiery plunge, the heat shield had to deal with temperatures hitting 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, just think about that. It's an absolute testament to the insane engineering it takes to bring people back safely from deep space. You know, the call from NASA Mission Control just said it all. After a 10-day journey of almost 700,000 miles, the crew landed exactly where they were supposed to, exactly when they were supposed to. A perfect bullseye. So there you have it. That was just 1 week. A new AI, a huge hack, a new super material, and a journey back from the moon. The future is coming at us from all sides at once. It really makes you wonder, as we keep building these incredible, powerful new tools and literally reaching for the stars, are we getting any better at building the wisdom and the safeguards to handle it all?